Where do I start, honestly?
Do you want to start?
Well, you're expecting a 4.5 minute rant. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm lost for words, and maybe that's the most damning thing about this Manchester United team, and I use the word team in the loosest sense of the word.
Before, obviously, you rant, let me just obviously remind people that we are obviously discussing the 4-0 thrubbing that Brighton gave Manchester United yesterday at the Amex. Cucurella getting on the act, Gross, Trossard, Caicedo, I need to say his name wrong. Caicedo as well. Caicedo. He's been a really good signing, by the way, for Brighton. He has really, really good. They dominated possession, chances on goal. So, Crookie, talk to me. What are you thinking then?
Well, just that, really. I mean, Sam summed it up quite neatly, actually. He said, Manchester United, you are an embarrassment. And they are. You know, it's an absolute disgrace. Almost week in, week out. They beat Brentford on Monday, and people praise the performance. And the players have the audacity to do a lap of honour after beating Brentford in the last league game at Old Trafford. They should have been heading straight back to the dressing room because there's no honour about this season. They're on course to finish the season with a negative goal difference. I mentioned it earlier. I think West Ham have got every chance of leapfrogging them now into 6th place. They deserve that 6th place. United will be in the Conference League. Some of these players should be playing in the Vauxhall Conference because they've downed tools, and it was fitting that it was a lovely sunny day down by the south coast. You could smell the sea air because United players may as well have turned up in flip-flops and wearing their swim shorts and kicking a beach ball around. They did not want to be there. And you compare it to Brighton, you mentioned Caicedo, and actually that's a case in point because he's someone who's a Manchester United fan, openly admits that. He was on Manchester United's radar. They chose not to sign Caicedo because they go autograph hunting. These owners are more interested in selling shirts than they are in actually rebuilding a broken football club. That was another phrase that Sam Matterface used in his expert summing up yesterday. And then there's Cucurella. That goal for Cucurella meant so much to him that he cried in celebration. And people are saying, well, is there more to it? He's just that passionate about playing for Brighton and about making his name in English football. Those Manchester United players should have been crying tears of shame for their performance. Because the fact is, man for man, Brighton are not 4 goals better than Manchester United. No. They're not 4 goals better than most teams in the Premier League. They'd only scored 12 home goals all season until yesterday. They've added 25% of their tally in one afternoon. And it could have been 6 or 7. And Ralph Rangnick comes out afterwards and he's getting a lot of praise from Manchester United fans because he's so honest in press conferences. It's quite easy to do that when you know you aren't going to be part of the furniture moving forward because this consultancy role isn't going to happen because I can tell you, and I've spoken to people, they've been so astonished by how poor a manager and a coach Ralph Rangnick has been. They don't want him anywhere near the new Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag, if he's got any sense, it'll block his number because he's made no impact at all, Ralph Rangnick. He's made Manchester United worse. People have said they should have kept Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. No, they couldn't because he wasn't up to the job. There was an argument to say that maybe Michael Carrick, if they were going down this ridiculous interim route until the end of the season, would have done a better job. I think they would have had a better chance of finishing the top 4 under Carrick than under Rangnick. And then you get to the individual players. Why is Edinson Cavani anywhere near a Manchester United shirt? He's basically refused to play at every turn this season.
Do you think his nose has been put out of joint?
I don't care. Go away. Find yourself a new club. Stop, clogging up the payroll, blocking a route into the first team for a young player. And then there's the furore from Jesse Lingard's family members because he didn't get a send-off. Boo-hoo. I'll give him a send-off. I'll open the door and I'll kick him out the backside because he's not good enough to play for Manchester United and to rebuild this football club.
We don't condone violence on this show, just want to put that out there.
Gabby Agbonlahor is spot on. They probably need 15 players and that isn't going to happen in one summer transfer window. But I've made a list here on my pad of the Manchester United players from yesterday that I would keep.
It's an empty pad.
It's blank. Because not one of them...
Just to let the listeners know that it's an empty pad here. He'd written nothing on the paper.
Because not one of them came off that pitch with any professional pride. It was a shameful performance at the end of a shameful season. And I hope they don't finish 6th. Because they don't deserve to finish 6th. I'd love them to finish 18th,
no,
to be honest.
I want 7th.
I'd love them to finish 18th, because that's their level.
Won't get relegated.
It's been a disgrace.
I mean,
Man United get relegated.
It's been a disgrace.
Because they gave a lap of honour.
They've been bad. We know that it's not been the greatest.
That's the only thing I disagree with. Sorry, Dad, is the lap of honour. It's not a lap of honour, in my opinion, in that team. It's a lap of appreciation of the support. I think if they walked down the tunnel, we'd have been in here today crucifying them. Basically,
Daz, I'm with you 100% because I get it. It's not a lap of honour.
It's embarrassing.
No, but they have to do it. They can't win. If they didn't do it, they'd be getting absolutely crucified by everybody.
It's a lap of shame, really. Yeah. That's what it is. But it's a lap of appreciation.
It's more acknowledgement.
The support that they've given all season. And I think if they walked down the tunnel, can you imagine they walked down the tunnel?
It'd have been one of them. End. I think it's a lap of appreciation to the supporters because if they know they haven't been good enough. It's just kind of clapping them to say, listen, thanks for coming out. We know we've let you down. But I think the bigger story would have been...
They don't care they've let the fans down. They don't care.
I'm telling you now,
whether it's for show or not.
If they hadn't gone down out there and walked around that pitch, you'd have had all the players
a major story.
hammering them.
A major story. I agree with all of what you said, apart from, obviously, that I just think... coming out and saying sorry at social media.
Were they saying sorry? Well, they were smiling. They were clapping the fans. That wasn't a sorry.
It was at the end.
They walked around with both arms in the air saying we've been absolutely hopeless this season. Please forgive us. Fine.
It's not.
They were milking the moment.
It's not so much the apology after that game. It's the apologies every week. I think Fernandes come out after the Brighton, didn't he, and agreed with the song. You're not fit to wear the shirt, etc. You got to stop doing that. Exactly. You got to stop doing it. You got to stop apologising. Stop. Yeah, I hold my hands up. Just get on with your job on the football pitch, which is not going well at the moment.
Do you know what, Joe? You said something about your page and you haven't got anyone written down there. And I'm looking through the squad and I'm looking what players can kind of hold their head up high and go, do you know what? I gave it everything. I've done well. Now, of course, we know Ronaldo has scored the goals. At times, he hasn't been great, but when you look at his numbers, it's hard to argue with it.
Yeah.
I think the one player that I don't think has done necessarily anything wrong has been David De Gea.
He's had enough practice.
David De Gea. He has made save after save after save. And at times, Man United kept wheeling him out to the media. He kept talking honestly, openly. But his performances, if anything, he has been superb this season.
The elephant in the room is Raphael Varane.
Oh my
goodness. It was signed to quite some fanfare. I remember it paraded on the pitch. He was announced on the website. Again, of course, he was announced on the website because it's all marketing nonsense. And paraded on the pitch at Old Trafford before the Leeds game. Fans with their camera phones. He has been appalling, Raphael Varane. He's not been a leader. He looked like an old man yesterday. And do you know what? He's not that old, by the way. He's not that old. No. He's one of the flops of the season. I mean, I think Lukaku and maybe Jack Grealish might have a say in that because they've come for more money. But he was supposed to be a transformational signing. Jadon Sancho was supposed to be a generational talent. I've not seen that.
Yep.
And that's not about application, by the way. And I've spoken to people who've worked with Jadon Sancho in the past. He has the talent. He doesn't necessarily have the application. And when you're not applying yourself correctly, this Manchester United dressing room is the worst place to be. Just ask Marcus Rashford, because there's enough people that you can go hiding within the corner who also aren't applying themselves correctly, and it very quickly becomes quite toxic.